Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, what if I told you that the AFC North might be on the verge of a seismic shift? That the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that's been quietly building and retooling for the last few seasons, could be on the cusp of something even bigger. Well, recent rumors and reports indicate that a blockbuster trade might be brewing between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Steelers, and it involves none other than Ja'Marr Chase, one of the most electrifying young wide receivers in the league right now. That's right, Chase, who's been a key piece for Cincinnati, might be heading north to Pittsburgh, and the implications of this move could be enormous for the division, for the Steelers' Super Bowl aspirations, and for the landscape of the AFC as a whole. Imagine this. The Bengals, currently struggling with a 1-6 record, are in a tough spot. Their defense is bleeding points like a sieve, allowing an average of 31 points per game, and with their cap space tight at around $12 million, they're looking at a sort of rebuild. The team is also contemplating a future without Chase, especially considering the ongoing financial pressures and the need to bolster their trenches with draft picks, as suggested by insiders like Diana Rossini. It's a complicated situation for Cincinnati. Chase, meanwhile, has been a revelation since he entered the league. His career stats are impressive, nearly 900 yards receiving and 42 touchdowns with an average of almost 15 yards per reception. He's been recognized as an All-Pro in 2024 with a PFF grade of 91.8, which is elite by any standard. His explosiveness is undeniable. In 2025, even with a shoulder injury that limited him in Week 5, he still posted 48 receptions for over 700 yards and 6 touchdowns, ranking among the top receivers in contested catches with a 62% success rate and boasting an EPA per target of 0.38. That's a player who can change the game on any given play. Now the Bengals are showing signs of skepticism about locking in a massive extension for Chase. Rumors suggest they're hesitant to commit over $100 million, especially with their current cap constraints and the need to rebuild their offensive line, which has allowed a staggering 28 sacks so far this season. That's a major concern when it comes to protecting Joe Burrow and building a sustained winning team. So instead of pouring resources into an extension, Cincinnati might opt to trade Chase now, using the draft picks they acquire to focus on shoring up their defense and offensive line, similar to what the Cleveland Browns did post-Watson, rebuilding their front seven and secondary through the draft and savvy signings. But here's where it gets even more interesting for Steelers fans. Pittsburgh, sitting at 4-3, has been a team with a solid but not spectacular secondary, ranking 29th in passing yards allowed. They've been looking for a true game-changer at wide receiver for a while now. The addition of Chase could be that missing piece. A receiver with his ability to stretch the field, win contested catches, and make plays after the catch would elevate the Steelers' passing game significantly. And it's not just about adding another receiver, it's about transforming the entire offense. With Chase on the field, quarterback Kenny Pickett would have a true deep threat, a reliable target who can take over games. The numbers support this. Projections show that Chase's addition could bump up the Steelers' completion percentage from 62% to around 68%, and increase their EPA per attempt on deep passes by approximately 20%. Plus, Chase's ability to gain yards after the catch, YAC, would be a game-changer for Pittsburgh's offense, especially considering their current receivers like George Pickens, who's been impressive but can sometimes struggle against top-tier defenders. Chase's presence would stretch the defense and open up opportunities for other players, creating more space and more scoring chances. His impact would be felt in the run game too, as defenses would have to respect his speed and route running, which could alleviate some pressure off Najee Harris, allowing him to run with more room to operate. Harris has been averaging around 3.9 yards per carry this season, and with a more balanced, explosive passing attack, that number could see some improvement. This potential trade could also have a serious impact on the betting odds for the Super Bowl LX. Currently, the Steelers are considered long shots at around plus 2,500, but with a player like Chase, those odds could shift dramatically, maybe to plus 1,500. He's proven in the playoffs to be a clutch performer, averaging around 86 yards per game in playoff situations, and he's shown he can demolish defenses, especially when they're dealing with injuries. If Chase joins Pittsburgh, he instantly becomes a focal point, and the Steelers' chances of making a deep postseason run could skyrocket. The division itself could be reshaped, with the Bengals potentially fading into irrelevance if they decide to rebuild entirely and let Chase go, while the Steelers ascend as a perennial contender. Of course, all of this hinges on the Bengals making the decision to trade Chase, something that's not guaranteed, but the signs point to a possibility that no Steelers fan should ignore. Cincinnati's current struggles, cap situation, and the strategic shift towards rebuilding their trenches with draft picks make this scenario plausible. For the Steelers, this is a golden opportunity to significantly upgrade their roster without giving up their core future assets. It's a move that could define the franchise for years to come, especially if they manage to keep their core intact and integrate Chase seamlessly into their system. Now, Steelers fans, imagine the impact of this move on your team's offense. Chase, paired with Pickett, would give the Steelers a dynamic duo that defenses would have nightmares about. His route running, contested catch ability, and yards after catch. It's exactly what Pittsburgh needs to push their offense into the top 10. The offensive line might need some shoring up, but with their current draft capital and some strategic additions, that's a manageable task. The team's future suddenly looks a lot brighter, a lot more explosive, and a lot more capable of competing at the highest level. And as the NFL landscape continues to evolve, it's these kinds of moves that set teams apart, those bold, strategic decisions that can propel a franchise from good to great. The Steelers have always been a team that values smart moves, and if they pull off a trade for Chase, it will be remembered as one of the most impactful in recent franchise history. It's a gamble, sure, but sometimes in the NFL you have to take risks to get the rewards. And right now, Pittsburgh fans, that risk could be well worth it. So, what do you think? Are the Steelers really going to pull the trigger and bring Ja'Marr Chase into the Steel City? How would this change your expectations for the season and beyond? Would you believe that this could be the move that pushes Pittsburgh into serious Super Bowl contention? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and deep dives into everything happening in the NFL and especially with your beloved Steelers. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, let's keep the Steelers' pride alive.